Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Matriarch Astrology. This is a very different video than what I'm used to creating. Usually I stick to a very strategic guideline so that I don't meander in my videos as I tend to. And I wanted to talk about something that I live with on the daily, and also the people and the generations that were born with Neptune and Uranus in Capricorn. Now, I was born in 1990, and I have that Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn all conjunct in Capricorn, and I am a Capricorn sun, so this also conjuncts my sun. It makes all of them make a square to my moon and ascendant, and then also they all conjunct my midheaven. So this is a major theme for me in my life, and it's something that is inescapable, and I call it the unicorn ghost. And living with this has been more of in childhood, being very, very dreamy and using imagination as a form of escape. Now, it just depends on your childhood and what occurred for you, but for me personally, imagination was an escape mechanism, and it was a form for me to, I guess, disassociate from certain situations that I encountered growing up. So I used imagination, daydreaming, and just living in other worlds in my mind in order to find some type of happy place. Now, thankfully in my adulthood, I am able to use this energy not only in my imagination, but I can create now things that are that Neptunian essence into something that I can actually see and create and build with my tangible hands. So for me, for example, it is right now one of my passions is embroidery, which I was really afraid to start, but I actually just gave myself a chance and the permission to just try, and I find it very, very relaxing and repetitive. Knitting is also something that I have decided to pick up just yesterday. And I'm already getting the hang of it. I really like it. And needle punching and creating in a mixed media sketchbook, all of those things. And people with this aspect and these type of influences from Uranus and Neptune can feel, or at least for me, it has felt a bit destabilizing or just very fluid, like you don't know where to kind of grasp. Now, thankfully, I do have Capricorn, so I do have a groundedness. It's like the oak tree that is grounded deep with heavy and deep roots, but it's still very high. So it's like the top is in the clouds, the head is in the clouds, feet planted deep into the earth. And for me, I found that I used the word a lot sporadic or all over the place, and feeling bad about being the way that I am and getting, a late autistic screening and realizing that all these things that I felt when I was a child was just a part of me that I wasn't able to integrate within myself. And for me, since it is a conjunction, it's something that's not really escapable. I have Neptune within 1 degree of my sun, Uranus within 7, Saturn within, I believe, like 2 degrees. And I'm learning slowly that there has to be this balance between structure, Saturn, and also Neptune and spirituality and the artistic expression that has been wanting to come out through me, because I've been trying to for years to just keep it structured. Why can't I just be structured? I don't sound like the normal Capricorn that everybody usually portrays on TikTok or on Instagram or even YouTube. I am like this very different type of Capricorn. And years ago, when I learned about the Uranus-Neptune conjunction and learning about aspects and all that stuff, I was like, this is why I don't fit into the normal Capricorn, I guess, box that Capricorn likes to be in, or its structure. And I'm learning how to blend structure with that creativity. So how do I blend my astrology with creativity? How do I explain to myself that it's okay if I just want to embroider one day, or if I just want to needle punch? If I want to pick up knitting and start knitting. And I think that's something that people in this generation, depending on where it is in your chart, is it in your 10th house? Is it in your first house of your body and your appearance, or is it at home? Where is it that this conjunction falls for you is going to depend on the house and I use the whole size sign system, so it's a little bit easier for me to say for sure 10th house for me. And I really wanted to make this video to connect with other people with this conjunction, because I do want to know how other people have this. You don't have to be a Capricorn like me. For me, it is, Capricorn, it's a conjunction, but, is it that you're an Aries and you were born during that era and you have it square? Or, are you a Pisces and you have it sextile? Things like that. And how has that manifested for you? How do you use Uranus and Neptune, and then also Saturn, depending on when in that year frame do you fall? How do you use that and incorporate that into your daily life? For me, it's about accepting finally who I am, accepting the way that I am, accepting that I'm not normal. I don't think I'll ever be the normal, but how do I blend it together? How do I blend that Saturn urge for structure with the more spiritual Neptunian way of structuring? And I did watch a video about Neptune, and it was mentioned that they associated Neptune with LSD or drugs, as in psychedelics. So like mushroom or ayahuasca or bufo, all those different variety of sacred medicines, and the ability for some people to navigate it maybe more easily than others depending on the sign. So like for me, since I am a Capricorn, I have that earth to stay integrated and stay more grounded during my experiences with those. Like I've had ceremonies with bufo, I've had ceremonies with mushrooms, with cambo. I've sat with these medicines and ayahuasca, and I've been able to experience them without losing my mind or losing my sense of self or anything like that. And I think it's because of all that earth energy that I have. I have Mercury, Saturn, the sun, Neptune, Uranus, all of that, all in Capricorn, that allows me, I guess, to navigate that realm a little bit more easier than, let's say, if I had maybe air or water, where it can become too much, where you can get lost in it. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky way of dealing with it, I would say. But I do agree that Neptune aspect has made me more willing and even more like attracted to those medicines as a form of healing. So I have used those to heal past stuff that has happened to me in childhood, but also ancestral things that were in the lineage. And it has become something that I'm so thankful for. And I see it as such a sacred medicine, and I see it in very high regards. And maybe that's the Neptune aspect, but thankfully I've been able to sit with it and become immersed in it, but then also be able to come out and be more grounded afterwards. I've also noticed that with this, it's made it harder for me to do the mundane type of work. Like a 9 to 5 is something that I was never able to hold. And I can see now why, where I really need flexibility. I don't like rigid schedules or rigid things. I like to be able to use my creativity and to flow based on how I'm feeling or based on my cycles, because I do flow with my own cycles, as in the menstrual cycle, to navigate how it is that I'm feeling. It could be very different when you're in your luteal phase versus when you're in ovulation. So I guess I'm using that Neptune, like go with the flow and be a little bit more permeable, and I use creativity to channel that permeability, or the tarot and working with that Neptune tarot thing, and how can I incorporate this also into my work, astrology, all these, I guess, things that fall under the mystical umbrella. I'm incorporating it, but also I think the big lesson is learning to accept it, which is something that I really have struggled with as the age of 36 up until now, where I'm accepting of the way that I am and understanding more what it's like to have this and live with this. This is something that is applying in my chart. So it's something that is continuously and will always be with me. It's not something that at least I tried to or thought I could escape, to be more, structured, Saturn and rigid. I would love to hear from those of you born in this aspect of Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, and all of that conjunction in Capricorn, and where it falls in your chart. Is it conjunction? Is it a square or a trine, and how has that manifested for you? Because it is conjunct my sun, it also affects my Leo house. So that is the 5th house of creativity and children and romance and hobbies. So that is where Neptune really wants to express itself. That is why I create content on child astrology. It doesn't really reach a lot of audiences because it's not very niche in YouTube, but I still want to produce it, and hopefully one day it will become something that is a little bit more known and can really help other parents, but also maybe even creating more art and expressing and showing my artistic side. I've already started doing that with the collage in Mars through a child's chart and that series, but I've been thinking, why don't I show my embroidery? Why don't I show my needle punching, my knitting journey that I just started? But then my Saturn comes in and it's like, well, is that really structured? You're kind of going all over the place. There's that keyword again, all over the place. But I think it's just about allowing myself to be as fluid as I am and just be okay with it. So this video is not super structured like I'm used to, and if you've stayed along this whole time, thank you so much, and definitely let me know down below if you were born during this and how it manifested for you. And let me know if you'd like to see some art content, because I can surely record those type of videos for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.